I guess, first thing, do a pledge of allegiance, yes? Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The way that. We can authorize associate to vote and members are absent. And. Mark.
You don't have any associates, we just learned that Nick was just sworn in.
You've been sworn in, okay, well, that's
So he's
good, so,
full-fledged.
and. Adopt some minutes, and we don't have minutes here, so I guess skip by that. No public hearings. Old business, new business. Resident Bill Barnett, 354 Stinson Street, would like to move forward with this rezoning application for Jim. Get goes back with that.
So. At that being said, the rezoning, so I've been working with Joel Greenwood and we've been coming up with a plan, so we weren't just focusing on his gym. We were looking for a term that would fit multiple types of businesses. That would make it easier just to come in front of the planning board. And for you guys as approval, so we don't run into this
Right.
for every type of business. So we're hoping with your blessing that we can move forward and try to get this put into the papers, but we'll get there eventually. So on the second page here, it's a zoning ordinance amendment proposal for residential districts 1, 2, 3, 4, and rural C4. On table P, the request would add commercial low intensity to conditional uses on table P. This would cover a large majority of potential small business for the future that would still require planning approval. And then there's the definition of it as well. And then there's also copies of table P, and as I highlighted table P where it would be going, conditional uses, and then on the bottom, that's where we big highlighted box is where we put the definition of commercial low intensity.
Okay.
And I've noticed we need to do an upgraded application. Right now it's a land use application and then they check off for conditional use. Me and Jacob have talked and we looked up in the book there, everything that falls under conditional use. And we'll revise that. So it meets all the criteria and it's just for conditional use. It's not so vague. So when people come in front of you, everything for conditional use will already be kind of answered in their application.
Okay.
And make it a lot simpler. And at this point, it would be. Like I already spoke with Bill earlier, and at this point, so if we can get this approved. The commercial low intensity, then we can get it posted in the papers. And because we need 2 weeks of the public hearing.
Okay.
And then after that, it would go in front of council, and that needs to be 1 week. For the public hearing,
Okay.
and then at that point, council would approve, hopefully.
Right.
And then he would put in his conditional use application. And he would just need 1 meeting with you guys for approval. So if everything goes right, I'm hoping he could be up and running by mid-August.
Okay.
So I just figured, see what you guys think of that and how you guys, if you guys have any questions about the commercial low intensity.
I mean, this is just all case by case, right?
Correct. So,
So each applicant would have to go to both us and the town council still?
No.
Nope. nope, it would just come right in front
That's
of you
just to make
guys.
this happen.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and it would make it a lot easier, I feel like, for example, like. I had mentioned the lady off Snake Root Road, she wanted to put one of the Hillview mini barns.
Right.
On the lot right next to her she owns. That doesn't fall under a home occupation. being on a separate lot,
Right.
not attached to the house, but with that current commercial low intensity, she can fill out the application, come in front of the board here. And you guys can ask the questions you need
Right.
and decide from that point forward. Or for example, the flower shop that the lady wanted to put in next to the Kwanzaa hut. That side's residential, but then you have the Elks Club, you have the Chinese restaurant all
Right.
around there. And, you know, so that opens the door for a lot of businesses like that to actually work in some of these neighborhoods, without making a huge list for each, you know, florist and everything for each residential zone. But
Because
it's-
commercial low intensity, essentially, a business like that, you know, there'd be patrons on or off potentially during the day, but not like a convenience store where there'd be a full,
Correct.
you know, onslaught
Yes.
all day, right,
Correct. And there are questions you could
right.
ask that applicant, you know, as they come in with their applications. But
So if that person that wanted to do the tax thing and was gonna put it in their home without doing a separate building or anything, that would be a relatively quicker and easier thing to go through.
yes, but this is kind of making it somewhat similar to
Right.
that. Which, you know, speaking with Joel and everything, he thinks this would be the best option. So we're not just focusing on just the gym,
Right,
you know, and making a process like this dragged out for so long. He's the first one that we're doing this with. So it's still gonna be a little bit of a process with council and everything, but it will make it easier in the long run for everybody.
so you've been aware of what's going on and everything seems to be okay for you?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, like he called me before I came,
Right.
just kind of give me a overview of what.
Okay.
Here. But
Is there any, limit on number of employees one of this small?
I would have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure, doesn't even state in this, but I'm pretty sure in the code there, it does mention something about, it would be more of a, like, a one owner type business, not, yeah, you're not.
The sole proprietor, but there are one or two employees.
Correct.
So that's the obvious question, where are you gonna draw the line? A small, or what side of business is gonna
Yeah,
qualify, but that's gonna be a case by case. They'll come before us and we'll decide, I guess.
yes.
But,
At the end of the day, no one's moving forward without the planning board on this, it will be conditional uses.
And that will require a site plan review.
Yep, whatever, yeah, they would, yeah, like I said, we're gonna put together a whole new application for conditional use, just for conditional use. So it's not just as vague.
Cause if they do that, then we get into the traffic and all this other stuff, right?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, and you know, we can play with it, like I said, case by case.
So basically, what it's doing is giving us the authority to look at every case by case and make decisions quicker and easier than going through a longer drawn out process.
Correct, going through the council, the whole 9 yards every time.
That's pretty much,
Much more streamlined.
that's pretty much why we're here. Most people, you know, should be here is to be able to do things, you know, with our vote. That's why we're here probably.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
makes sense to me, you mentioned earlier, you know, we can't put everything on the list, we could have a list of 100 things and there's always gonna be 101.
Yeah, exactly.
Reminds me of old. But some of the things are very outdated, boarding houses.
Okay, any other discussion on this?
Is that one property? Is that your house?
it's actually 3 lots. Well, I think mine's actually 2 too, but no, the gym's 2 that were combined together. Like it was, I think if you look in here, it's
What's 354? Is that?
that's just the gym.
Just the gym.
Or my house is 343.
Okay, yeah, I remember you talked about that.
When you get a tax bill, is it on one
So
tax?
right now, because where it was just land for so long.
Right.
It's still deeded apart, but where they said they were connected, the tax assessor, he combined them just into one bill.
Right.
So I didn't get all bills in there.
Right,
But if we have to separate that back out, it's no big deal, but
yeah, I don't,
it's, that was just on the assessor did
Right.
here in town, just to make less paperwork and stuff like that, so.
and I don't know, I'm not on the tax, but if it's all owned by the same person all together, I think generally you get usually one tax bill, unless for some reason you want things out.
Right, yeah, cause I think for our first year or two, we got like all kinds of different
Right.
tax bills, and then after talking, he's like, they're all interconnected, I can just do it on one.
Right.
They haven't did it, so.
That power line is overhead in industrial park. Remember we talked about that?
On the extension there,
Yes, you were right,
yes.
yes.
So on which, where, all the way?
Well, and towards Somerset Avenue, the new section going in, over to the.
Right.
That's all overhead.
Yes, so I thought.
You knew that the whole time, you just let us.
Yeah, 'cause I noticed it when it was done a few years ago, that
Right.
they done it that way.
I was gonna call you to tell me you were right, I was wrong, but I didn't.
I'll save that for later.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
So at the next meeting, if you guys give the blessing today, at the next meeting, you guys would have a more formal letter of
Right.
the same thing pretty much to vote on. And we can move forward with it. You guys have any?
so do we make a motion and vote on this
I would say so,
to move
yeah.
forward?
Yeah, move forward so we can try to get it into the papers and things like
Right.
that, and get the ball rolling. You know, because the 2 weeks, you know, depending on,
Right,
that's bringing us into June already. And then we'll have another meeting, and then after that, we'll still have to go in front of council, but that's only a limited window there,
okay.
so, but.
So if there's no more discussion, I guess I would look for a motion.
On the zoning ordinance?
Correct.
So I would move that proposal.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Second. Passes.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. That was.
So we don't need to take any action on that.
Nope, because like I said and spoke with him already, he'll retract the application. And then we will get him the updated application once we get council's approval.
Right.
And then he'll have to come back one more time in front of you guys, and you guys can vote on it then.
The next step is public hearing.
Correct. Just a smidge about your gym to catch me up to speed, like, how's a gym, but.
Yeah, so what it is basically 3,600 square foot property that's geared towards strength training. And, you know, it's got some functional training in there, it's got turf in there for people that like to do, you know, sprint or anything that would require a little bit of space to move back and forth. It's got a key badge access system, you get in at any time of the day.
Yeah,
And it logs anybody that comes in and out for security reasons.
okay,
It's got, it actually takes a picture of you when you go in, like
Okay.
that way, you're not giving somebody else your feedback or whatever.
Yeah.
I can remotely pop you in if nobody's around,
Mhm.
and I can also give a temporary access code to get into a safety drive or something like that. It's got security all inside, it's got security around the outside.
so it would be geared to like independent use of the gym customers?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it's not really meant for classes and stuff like
Yeah.
that, you know what I mean, like not like a bunch of people showing up and doing Zumba.
Yeah.
Or something like that, you know.
Okay.
It's
Cool,
meant for couples or, you know, one people, they go work out together.
Sure. yeah, I like that, cool, okay, thank you.
Is there, just a curiosity,
Sure.
is it open 24 hours or basically you have a time frame that technically it's not?
Well, that's gonna be based on what I get approved for.
Right.
It has the potential to be 24 hours, because everything's on automation.
Right,
So lights shut off, sound system shuts off, everything else. If you go in, everything turns on automatically, as soon as you walk in, it's got motion sensors everywhere,
Right.
so it keeps stuff through logic based on whether you're in certain parts of it or not, so.
okay,
If it could stay open 24 hours, it's pretty well soundproofed in there, it's all spray foam and everything else, so. And the music's not like pumping in there either, it's background music, a lot of people have headphones on anyway,
Right.
so it's meant to be background music for people that don't wear headphones, so that way it's not just dead silence in there, you know,
it's not like the summertime when
but.
I'm south town, Route 100, and you'll hear the thump thump. Thump time.
Yeah, I keep the outside lights on, and you know, maybe like they come on at nightfall and the inside is on automation.
Right,
basically,
okay,
so,
I'm just curious.
yep.
How much parking is there
Well, right now, there's only out front, there's not a lot of parking there, I can probably fit, 10 cars.
Yeah.
But I have that little garage that I plan on tearing down,
Okay,
and it's just, I'm storing stuff in there right now. And as this project, it's like, I didn't wanna tear it down to make more parking, if it was gonna be another year process, you know what I mean? So, cause I'll make provisions for the stuff that's in there now. But, that whole side will be, on the right-hand side will be all parking through, so it'll be probably 20 potential spots, but like, I don't think there would ever be 20 people there at once on it.
so that was my next question, is how many people could you handle?
I'd have to find out like what the full is, but I don't think it would be more than 15 to 20 in there would be the max, just because of restraints of. I don't like to be super crowded when I'm working out either, so like there's enough equipment in there for a lot of things happening, but I don't think the whole time I was ever going to the gym here in Pittsfield, I never saw more than 10 people in there at once, so I don't think it would be ever more than 20. Building occupancy based on square footage and stuff like that, that's another story, like that's usually an ordinance thing, I would think, but
Fire marshal, yeah.
exactly. But the doors are actually out swinging doors with crash bars and stuff like that, so I tried to make it like, as I was doing this, like, if I ever did something, then it would be not prohibitive of something ever happening, you know what I mean, so.
The building itself, was it a pre-engineered building or did you work?
Yeah, it's a steel building kit.
Yeah.
Well, they designed it kind of around I wanted it, but it was an engineer.
Custom kit, basically.
Yep, so.
Anything else? No, so,
And it is air conditioning.
so if things go well. Next meeting, we'll have a public hearing on the change.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So we just wanted to
Right.
get the ball rolling
Yeah,
on
no
this as fast
problem.
as possible.
So that'll be at the regularly scheduled meeting?
Yes, yeah,
I have a question.
yes, sir.
For the month of June and half of July, I won't be in the country, but I might be able to like tune in virtually if that's a possibility. Is that a possibility?
We should be able to get something going like that. for you.
Okay.
Yeah, we normally have Zoom, right?
Yeah, I know it's on Zoom right now. Jacob knows more about all of that.
But we've had guests, yeah,
Exactly.
before and
Right.
people present.
Members.
remotely.
Yes.
Right.
So it's not impossible.
But we've rearranged the room ever since, so.
Used to.
Yeah, that's good.
Better. Anybody else have anything else to talk about?
I have one more question.
Sure.
You had mentioned site plan, like if it moves forward, is that like if it's treated like a commercial building, like? That's a site plan you'd be looking for that I need to have.
Yeah, it's the format that's in the, ordinances.
Well, this process was started for me already, like it's probably like half done already, but
Right.
I just didn't know if I needed to continue with that, like because he had a drafting guy that was drafting up the whole lot and the building on the
Well, the
wall.
more information, the better, and talk to Russell, I think, he probably would steer you in the right direction, that's what I would recommend, right?
Absolutely.
And then you can walk you through that and then present.
I just want to make sure that I continued with that, or if it's just something different when you guys are talking about site plans.
As much information as you can.
This is the town ordinance and it's like 400 pages, but there's a couple pages in there that spell out what should be in the site plan. And it's the standard stuff, any engineer would.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, I think you guys probably know, he was one that was helping me with a lot of his brother, but he's a civil engineer.
Right.
And I can get you a copy of the ordinance.
It's online as well, I think.
It is, but I can find it for
Yes.
you, email them a copy.
Or-
It's like a page and a half.
Exactly,
Yes.
474 pages, you only need 2.
Yeah, I know, like that's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah. All right.
If there's nothing else, I'll look for motion.
So move.
So move,
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
yes. Second? Second.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor? And I apologize again for being late.
Made it.
I think first time.
It took.
All right, maybe we'll make those golf course.
No.
No, not so.
Sorry about that. You guys have a good one.
No, Brenda, just walking in the house.
What up? What's better? I said, crap.